Hello and welcome back to Tactical Chilli. How are you today, Charlie?
I'm good, thanks. How
Not
are
too bad,
you?
mate. Not too bad. Recovering from the weekend, but yeah, all good. What we have today? What are we up today? Still with the same interviewing
I'm
WTC.
painting, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. So
So,
this is our fourth episode, I think,
fourth
of
episode.
the
Yes.
R- Team New Zealand Road to WTC. Last week we had Hayden Corridge on the show talking about going as a first-time player um, to Belgium in August. And today we have a couple of the lads that went last year who are returning this year, and both. So let's welcome Jonty and Alex.
Alex. Yes. Let me bring them up. Hello, Alex. Hi, Jonty. How are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Yeah, good. Already doing better than Hayden because we hit the unmute button, I hope.
Hey,
Oh,
excellent.
absolutely,
What about
absolutely.
you, Jonty? You're doing better than Hayden?
I'm a bit, well, he's full health, he's doing better than me, but I don't normally sound cool.
He's also got his name spelt right on his shirt, despite Jonty briefly being excited in the group chat today.
That was quite funny. That was quite
Very
funny.
slightly.
Oh, well,
But it looks fine as immortalized on the play mats that we will have already had outdated.
oh, well, man. I just,
Hey, yours was never.
sorry, that's the reason why I just put Jonty and not went down with the full name, just to avoid any problem.
People will get confused when they see my
Should have
name.
done it.
I want to know.
Yes.
Collectively, the 40k New Zealand community will change Jonty's name.
Pretty much. There is a.
Considered it, but I recently made the wife change it. I wouldn't really be fair to do it again.
Did you say you recently made the wife change?
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, really good to have you guys on. This
We'll fix that.
Let's do it. Don't know if you guys have been following the series, but we've just been going through Team New Zealand this year, a few players from last year. Doing a bit of interview, letting people at home know who the team is, bit of background, just story take. So yeah, why don't we start with you, Jonty? How did you get in the hobby? Because you were new on the team last year, quite new to the New Zealand 40k scene.
Yeah, so I'm quite new to the New Zealand 40k scene. So I originally got into 40k with the cult classic computer game Dark Crusade, jamming in a whole bunch of LAN parties with my friends, and I loved two factions, Bronze and Tau. And then when I realized that it was based off a model game, I got a bit interested in that, collected some Tau way back in high school, but then started uni, had to put it on the shelf, and only picked it up again at the start of lockdown when I realized you could play it virtually on Tabletop Simulator. So
Yes, I
that was
heard
how,
you're a bit of a menace on you're a bit of a menace on TTS.
yeah,
I mean, it's all around.
yeah. Well, I mean, it was only kind of luck of the draw that I even got back into playing in person because I on one of the Alpha League tournaments they had on the TTS Discord for 40k. I beat Francis in one of the tournaments on there, and then he was the one that contacted me and said, "Hey, do you want to play WTC? Because I can't make it, and you enough to beat me. So do you want my spot on the team?"
Ooh. If that's the case, a lot of people probably could have made the team. I mean,
Yeah, I don't know how I got that.
That is wild. That is wild,
oh,
Charlie.
yeah, I remember that moment. Yeah, Francis had to drop out. I mean, we had already had a drop at that point, I think.
Yeah, it was one of the Kiwis based in the UK.
Yeah, that's right. And then Francis going, he can't make it, but he's found someone really, really awesome that only plays TTS. And I remember we talked you into going to OTT that year as well, just to meet up with you in person and see how you played in person. I got to say, man, the first time I saw you when you were playing, you had that cloth piece of ruler, like the cloth measuring tape. That was hilarious.
Wait, like a dressmaker's
Yes, like a
tape.
dressmaker.
I had one at each. I had a fabric roller and a measuring tape because the fabric was much easier to place and just leave there. Like if I wanted to measure something.
Oh,
I remember thinking,
and it's like enormous dice. It's like,
yes,
I'm used to the TTS dice roller. Dice rolling's hard.
why is this not automatic for my
It's like
1,000 shots?
now, and I'm rolling like 60 dice at once. So I want a big box. I
Uh,
made that box myself, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay,
I-
you did a pretty
I-
good job of it. I assumed it was purchased from somewhere.
No, I bought a whole bunch of red. Yeah, I'll go get it in a minute. But I bought some red felt, and I bought a little bamboo box, and I just glued that shit.
Oh,
together.
okay. The box was made and you just put felt in there.
Well, yeah, okay, but I made it into a dice box. It was a box already, but I made it into a dice box.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
About that.
Also, by the way, for people that are watching this on YouTube, me and Alex Taus is still painting.
I'm painting backpacks, baby.
I can see the
Keeping up the New
Because-
Zealand tradition.
We are not ready.
But
Oh, like I'm ready. I've got my shit up. You're
We
the
are
one that's
not
not
ready.
ready.
There will be a whole separate episodes of me
So-
and my journey to WTC in terms of painting.
Yeah, you
yes,
you were asking me like, should I do it? Should I play Blood Angels? And I'm like, if I paint 5 hours a day until I fly a model, it'll be. And I'm just like,
You guys talk.
no,
Jo-
you did this
Jonty's-
last year with GSC.
So for the ones that are
Alright,
listening,
Jonty's
and
coming
for
up.
you, no, he's going to pick up the box. But for you also, Alex,
Hi.
I'm going to profit on Charlie's suffering. So I going to do a full
Now,
episode, a full series of him trying to get his Blood Angels from the stage of approval to paint it to go to Belgium, which I have an internal bid with my wife that he will not make it, and he will be ended up playing Custodes. But that's
I can't. List
can't,
is
it's
locked. List is locked, man. I have to go with Blood Angels
Holy
now.
crap.
dude, I can't even borrow models from Canada like I did with Jonty for last year because I trash talked Jeremy in the stat check Discord.
Of course you
I think
did.
I probably could actually get us to borrow some, but he was saying how like he was feeling confident about coming out like because they came in the pod with Poland, so he's saying like yeah we'll go 2-0 and 1. I'm like calm down Jeremy, I have faith that you can go 1-0 and 2 and get another draw.
Jonty,
Nice.
show us the box. Show us the box,
Oh,
please.
Yeah, show
I
us the
have
box,
seen
Jonty.
that. Mate, that is professional.
My head scale.
That is a nice box.
It's deep, so things don't bounce out. It's real big. And this box has traveled to went to Belgium with me last year, and it's going to go to Belgium with me this year as well.
I am gonna go find my dice box then. It is somewhere nearby.
While you're doing that, Taus, how did you get the hobby?
This workhorse. Exact day I got into the hobby actually. It was the 1st of June in 2008 because we took a wrong turn leaving the Iron Man 1 movie because I remember we were like, it was a month to the day late that we went there. And we were in Wellington for a holiday with the family. We took a wrong turn.
Were you like
and
10
walked
years
past the
old at
Games
this point?
Workshop. I was something like that. I would have been 11.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so we were walking past the Games Workshop. We looked and was like, hey, this looks cool. And later that day, we bought a Battle from a Crag box set. And yeah, it was the most expensive wrong turn we've ever taken.
You continue to pay for it to this
Yes.
day.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, it's some all right stuff come from it. Like I've chatted shit with people online to the extent that I got like a week's accommodation in Paris for free. You know, stuff like that. There's been
Ups and
you know,
downs. Yeah,
upsides. But no, this is my $7 felt suede tray from Kmart that has been to Australia 3 times and Europe twice
Nice.
for 40k plus Auckland multiple. So is a trooper. One day it is failing. Like one day it'll like one of the sides will give out, and I'll be very very sad. But yeah.
I think this is a new thing on this episode series now. Everybody from now on just has to show us their dice
Shows
trays.
the dice tray.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be at. Yeah, you already.
God.
Yeah.
Finn was doing the like bird battle thing or whatever in his thing with contact lost.
Yes.
Show us your dice tray.
It's national food this time, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sad Finn didn't say mince pie. I would have gone for a mince pie.
Yeah.
uh,
Like the tradie breakfast.
Yeah.
Pie V and a dart.
Yes.
Um,
And a cigarette.
That's a dart.
we have another question here, but I think we all know the answer to this one, at least with Jonty. What is your favorite faction, Jonty?
There's a lot of thought recently because I've looked at the number of events that I've always said is my favorite faction, and now the number of events that I have played Necrons at, and I've now played Necrons at more events than I have played Tau. So I don't know. I want to say Tau, but at some point I think I probably have to recognize that I'm just spending a lot more time on Necrons than anything
I
else.
thought that was going to be the answer.
I think it's,
Because, you know, that's what they hit on. Shooting army, by the way.
If it ain't threes, you're playing them wrong.
Yeah,
What about
Yeah,
you, Tal?
but, you know,
What's your faction?
that's a good question, actually.
You've played quite a few over the years, haven't you? I've seen you on Chaos Knights and Imperial Leaders,
Yeah,
Custodes.
so like Battle for McCraig box set. So I started with Marines, and I have them places. But I don't really play them. I just sort of have the models. I got rid of some of the ones that were like a big collection of them, but they're not my favorite at the moment because I don't love the playstyle, especially the fact that like dreadnoughts are rubbish and other stuff. So
Yeah.
maybe just knights in general, possibly as like a favorite comfort like fun faction because I have them magnetized. And like when the slate dropped, I was singing Imperial Knights for possibly a little bit longer than I should have. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have a whole lot of faction loyalty.
that's
It's whatever
interesting.
works, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, having said that, how did you guys pick your fans for WTC in the end? I mean, with the running access drop and all the status like, do you have to go through quite a complicated process? Did your role change at all?
So do you want me to go first, or do you want to go?
Yeah,
Jonty?
you go first.
You got those.
We know Jonty's
Okay.
answer. Necron.
Yeah. They're probably actually a little bit similar, right? Of like, we're on a good army. Is the other one like better or worth switching to? But yeah, so like Chaos Knights basically had not really changed functionally. Custodes had changed a bunch. World Eaters hadn't really changed, and Imperial Knights got a decent change. And so I ended up testing Imperial Knights first because I'd done a bit of messing around. Like, I don't quite know where I'd go, and uh, Imperial Knight changes I thought were much more interesting, and like walking double gun knights through a wall, touching another ruin, shooting whatever they want while doing an action is like maybe there's something here. And like I was testing them, and they were like annoyingly okay. It's not like this is absolutely mind-blowingly busted, so we definitely want them in the 8. And it's not like, nah, this is. It was like, maybe. So I kept trying them. Chaos Knights was like one of the default options, as was World Eaters, and basically testing for NZTC as well. There were like World Eaters did well, and actually there was like one specific moment that John, the captain for NZTC, basically decided, "Yep, you're taking World Eaters." It was when I was playing a practice game against Hugh on one of the long weekends, where like we had a group of us together for a mini tournament. It was on the table quarters mission, with hidden supplies. So there's like 2 objectives split in the middle, and I
Yep.
scouted my jackals forward when I went first, so they could touch both hidden supplies middle objectives and my home field objective, and sticky all of them immediately top of one, and then run away and like send my whole army forwards. And so I just do that, and everyone else like pauses their games briefly, comes over and looks like that's foul. So that's when it was locked in for NZTC, and basically it went well there. And I didn't have time to work out something for custodian, so I went with Word Eaters.
Yep. 1, 2, or 3 monoliths, I think, was your main decision point.
Yeah.
I mean, I've obviously, for everyone who's not aware, I've been playing Hypercrypt pretty religiously for some time now. I find it really, really enjoyable, and
They're
there's
all ups and downs.
and there's a lot of a room for skill expression in a list where you can be anywhere, do anything. But ultimately, when the Pariah mission pack change, came out, and they were talking about the changes, and they said Titanic units can shoot an action, I was like,
Yep.
3 monoliths.
They
And
never
when
said
it
that.
came out that it was
You
Titanic,
read that.
I was equally as deflated. But with the loss of units like Tetris, I really considered, which faction was going to be better. Nick have, especially Hypercrypt, have ridiculously strong secret objective play with both Immortals and your Warlord, who in my list is a Silent King, being able to be wherever you want them to be. But the only nerf that Hypercrypt took from the balanced data slate was Satan can't use Cosmic Precision because they're excludes monsters now. I wasn't ringing, so it's it was as far as the team lineup, it was something I looked a lot into in terms of the match. But ultimately, I wanted it to be Necrons, and I managed to convince the power of B that it needed to be Necrons. So
Did the fourth go up some more in points, or was that the last slate?
that was the slate where we went to ANZTC.
So that's the one where the Wraiths didn't go up, right?
The Wraiths didn't go up. The Technomancer went up.
Yeah.
Went from 350 to 375, and then Canoptic Core is that took a lot of slacks, which is why it's not surprising to see going, for all these WTC stuff that it's going to be Hypercrypt and Awakened.
Awakened's made a strong comeback.
Awakened has made a
list,
strong comeback. I remember taking Awakened when it was only the index to the last WTC, where the Necron list was, good luck killing me. Either you can or you cannot. And
I managed it once, like in our practice games. I remember back in peak stupid nights, and we when you didn't miss position, and I was like, maybe this will work. Then later on, we did some maths of oh no, that was just really lucky, and we shouldn't pair this.
That was when Canis Rex tank shocked and Dev Wound sweeped up an entire 20-man Bricker Warriors.
Oof.
Yeah, and the through the Fiona Pain. No, because it was
it wasn't a field.
Yeah, it was Oricans, wasn't it? So it was through the bin chickens.
Yeah. I think the Crusader can pick up most of a Lich Guard block as well, but fortunately those days have changed. But they obviously the Necron playstyle shifted a lot from the unkillable bricks to just a bit more dynamic, and that's made the game enjoyable for both guys.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really fun playing against monoliths teleporting around, touching terrain. Haha, I see you.
Yeah,
No,
I mean it's fun for me.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, what's that? You didn't.
I mean, it was fun when we played.
3-inch drop. Well, there's a what's the word from LVO? Sorry about the monolith.
Yeah, right.
Cool. So, Jonty, you've been playing competitively, and specifically for teams.
He's still
Oh,
working on starting.
so my first teams event, you, Nairi, me, and I can't remember who our fifth player was, but we did a ACG 3-round teams event.
The
So
four-man
you'd be
squad?
imagining the fifth player because that was a 4-man teams event.
Was it a
Yes,
4-man team?
it's a
That was a
four-man
four-man
teams
teams
event.
event.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I
Let's
can't
go.
remember
Look at Jonty remembering everyone.
But yeah, like in terms of competitive events, the first competitive event I went to in person was Bay Harbour in,
That's right. Yes.
I want to say 2023. And fortunately, the two factions I didn't want to play going into the final round were Hero Garden Demons. They versed each other in the second round and each other's scores, and then I had a clean path to victory. So I won the first event I went to, which was nice. But obviously,
Physical event was it, Jonty? Because you'd played TTS a bit before that.
yeah, I played a lot of TTS long before that.
Yeah.
So I mean, at that point, it was basically I had that chat with Francis and then Nairi about joining the WTC team, and was like, well, I better play some in person stuff.
Yeah, and then the New Zealand meta like real quickly learned like the name Jonty Lawson. Not how to spell it, just the name.
Yeah, Michael's still playing catch up on that one.
Just the phonetic spelling.
The
Spelling not
fact
required.
You
how
really have to watch
quickly
out for
Chris
this.
got your back though when there was the joke about like design the shirts next year and we can make one like Taylor spelled ER at the end, and Chris is just immediately like, "Yep, do it. I don't even care if I'm going to WTC. I'll do it just to fuck with you, man."
You really have to watch out for that Jonty Russell player. He's doing pretty well.
No, he's even infiltrating Skype. That's like, there's two Jonties here when Charlie was trying to add you to the call.
That's right. It was two Jonties. Wish we would have got the right one. How about you, Taos? How long have you been playing competitively?
I'm still working on that too, man.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Christchurch
So like,
competitive?
hey, yeah, working on being competitive. No, I don't know. So like, I've never not been super competitive, but like for quite a while, the thing that was limiting me was actually like having like enough models, and a lot of it was some of it was time because I didn't like painting and didn't like putting the time in for that, but a lot of it was like basically cost because I stopped over high school when I was doing more robotic stuff and then started again at uni, and so like didn't a lot of money. So that would have been 2016ish. I started again trying to get competitive, but it would have been a few years before I started to like have an actual mass of units that I could form like a decent army. Yeah, so
I
a
think
couple years before COVID.
First
was
time
my
I met you was one of the NZTCs or Warp Wars?
It would have been Warp Wars. It was one of the NZTCs. But yeah, like the last NZ Heat in Wellington. That was
Oh, yeah.
possible that year, whenever that was, which I think was like a year before COVID, maybe. Or was it just after? I think it was just before. That was sort of like about the first year was quite consistently competitive.
Yep.
That sort of time frame. Yeah.
Okay, so decent time. Pre-COVID almost.
Yeah.
But do you manage to get, because I know you're based in Christchurch. Competitive events.
Christchurch have competitive events. Should be a first question.
Yeah, so no, I don't get to like a massive number of events. Like I haven't been going to quite so many of the Christchurch events since basically because I like terrain is there's some of the terrain is okay, some of it's like not ideal, and often spread too thin. So that can be a little bit and also there's usually like slightly adjusted like weird points levels in different missions and stuff. So I'll go to like a couple of the ones that lean into the silly nonsense missions quite well. But no, a lot of my competitive stuff I basically travel for. So like NZTs, ANZTC, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Are there
Like-
any events in Christchurch you'd like to plug? The ones you enjoy going to? Now's your chance.
I'm blanking on those right at the minute. But
The one I run with my terrain.
no, I haven't done that because I left uni, so I can't run uni games anymore because I'm not there.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm completely drawing a blank. I don't know like when the event calendar is coming up here because I've been worrying about like NZTC into WTC.
I remember there was an event that we had to convert and paint a donkey. Is that still a thing?
Yeah, no, Donkey Kon's still an annual fixture. That's one that I do like to go to because Chris knows how to make nonsense things. I think that's coming up actually. So yeah, if people are keen to travel for some nonsense and like have an excuse to convert a 40k donkey, yeah, definitely recommend Donkey Kon.
I hear about that. I think it was you, Charlie, that told me about that, or Ryan. I don't know. What was that, Jonty?
I said, I'm not going to ask any questions about Donkey Kong.
This is where my Custodes donkey punch list will handy.
I think that
I
could
think my
have
camera's
potential.
decided it's not doing a thing.
Yeah,
No,
I
you
think
fix your camera.
You
You might need to reset. We'll go to the next question then. Patricia, do you want to?
Oh well, where we are, we
I don't
are.
know which question.
Oh, you are all good. You are jumping around. We are doing this just for Jonty because he likes to go in order. We're just jumping around for Jonty.
Zami jumps around, so the questions jump around.
Why not? We are teleporting 3 inches away.
And you know what? Portals are coming out wholly within 6, and then they're going to move 5. So we fly.
God, thank you for pivot clarification. The rule of pivoting. Jonty, well, both of you, but I started with you, Jonty. You went last year to WTC. What made you apply for be part of the team, and what was your expectation for that first event?
Well, what made me apply were 2 things. First, I quite like 40k. Second thing was when I was asked, there's the donkey.
That's awesome.
When I was asked, when Francis mentioned, do you want to go to Belgium and play tabletop soldiers? My initial response was the only sensible one, and that was, of course not, don't be silly. But my wife is very supportive of my hobbies, and she encouraged me to reconsider and ultimately to go.
Wait, so you said no and your wife said that you needed to go?
Yeah, basically.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, and it's very supportive of my hobbies. I mean, I wouldn't be playing 40k to the degree that I am if she hadn't encouraged me to do it. So.
Does she have regrets yet?
She's not voiced them.
Dude,
she put the effort in to actually watch the stream the match I played on stream
against Solly.
Against Marasoli. She actually watched. It wasn't I think it was while she was multitasking, but
she tried.
And I don't think
did she understand any of it?
No, not really. My expectations. My plan was to go and my objective was don't lose a game, and I didn't. I got like 3 ties, but I didn't lose a game. And my objective this year is to win every game. So we'll see. An 11 counts. That's what I said at ANZTC was they were all at least 1 point wins. So.
I was going to ask.
So I seem to have managed to screw it up slightly.
Sorry, one at a time, please.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, go,
we're
Alex.
waiting. I think we've got enough delay that someone thinks the other's leaving the room. I think I managed to screw that up at most of my team events. There'll be one round that I get like a 9 or something like that, and the
Yeah.
rest will be like enormous scores. Like the past two NZTs, I think I've been the most, or this one I was like 1 point less than Finn I brought home, but it was like through 20s and then like a 9 somewhere in there.
Like World Eaters is such a good army to with, right? Like there are some armies that can unga bunga, and that's obviously not how you play World Eaters because you play them very well.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I'm going to play into that because he's a very good player and he knows his army very well.
Yeah, they're really good at like if someone marks or if they get the chance to push, just like really pushing it and putting the hurt on.
Like World Eaters, Blood Angels, some of those Black Templars with just body. Like those melee push armies are, they can get the biggest differentials.
What about orcs, Jonty?
Yeah, like you line your guys up. It's not how you play them, but if you get into a situation where you can.
It was kind of how you played Bully Boys, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was how you played them. It was. We're going to use Mega Knobs, and they're not going to die. But like in any army where you can move to a place and then kill everything there, has the potential to score well. Patricia tells about Thunderbolt Cavalry. They go to a place and they try and get everything there. But even if they don't, you score no prize.
Yeah, that's true. That we're just bullying you, Jonty, because of that whole experience against Luke at the NCTC.
Luke, yeah. I think you guys said. I remember because I've watched every episode so far, and I think you guys said that all I said was no. All I said was it fell apart.
Fell apart.
So, did you peer into someone on at?
I played into Luke on Luke's Green Tide. So Luke and I played at ChilliCon, and his list was very similar to that, although I think he had dropped knobs for some more beast naggers or something. But I went into that thinking I won that match by enough points. Like it was. It's not like it's not the perfect match.
It was.
And then I was thinking, well, this time it's going to be even easier because I have. But listen, now I dropped an Arisen Tyrant Plasmancer. And that squad just like spits out death. But to his credit, he played the list, and I think like it was sort of half luck, half planning in advance. But I never got to use the unit effectively at all. And so Wes should have been teleporting around the board, blowing up sections and then moving to the next kind of space. I couldn't. It also supplies was really rough because I didn't quite factor in how effective that would be he can move into the center, sticky to objectives, and then get off them. So I don't get full rerolls to wound on the immortals, but he still has control of them.
Control,
yeah. I just didn't even factor in that took the match from what should have been what I was predicting as a win to not a win, at all. It was bad.
That's interesting.
I mean, hey, it happens to the best of us, right? At NZTC, we paired Alex into Patricio, thinking like, oh yeah, Green Tide, it's like can hit melee. Yeah, quite. Like Green Tide, it can go and hit and do whatever, right? And I knew the Wolves didn't like other melee matchups, which is true to some extent. Like you didn't want to face me.
Yes.
I believe.
You and Blood Angels are the two ones that I may not like, but I have an answer to Blood Angels now.
Yeah. Oh, okay. But not World Eaters?
I have not tested against World Eaters, but I will. I may have an answer to my.
Are you free next week sometime?
Yeah, sure. You want to play? I have a full setup here at home. We can even stream if you want.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know if Finn has plans or whatever, but like, yeah, I'll be up next week and
He asked me
looking to get
to
practice.
yeah he asked me to sparring again. So we will see.
Excellent.
But
Um,
yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, bad pairings happen to the best of us.
Yes. Well, same.
It's all about learning matchups, right?
Yes, that's it. Sorry, I needed to divulgate to this because there was the opportunity. I saw the open and needed to throw the question, Jonty, and put in the spot. I think people that already listened to that episode was wanting us to ask you that question in camera. So I needed to do it. What about you, Alex? You are also going back this year. Last year, you apply for the first time. And what was the same? What was your expectation? And what was the reason you wanted to go to Belgium, cross the whole damn world, and pay $6,000 plus to play miniatures?
At least.
Pretty sure I played less than
Oh,
that.
wow.
I managed to make a month or so trip out of it too, so that was a part of it.
Good.
Like, when I hadn't been, like, I've been to the States twice, but not really traveled, and otherwise I hadn't been to the Northern Hemisphere. Then I ended up traveling to Europe twice and Japan last year because uni decided that, like, hey, do you want to have like 2 more international trips? Before I ended up like, yes, thank you. But yeah, so I like at that point I'd actually played a fair bit internationally. Like I went to Uprising where I came 7th. So that was like a really good personal test of like, okay, yeah, like I I sort of know where I'm at. Like I lost to Solly, and I lost by 1 point to the guy that was in the finals, and that was when I made like a massive blunder just at the end there as well, trying to like maximize my points when I thought it was like in the bag, and threw away like a 2-for-1 trade by like piling in. It was not my best move. So I was like, okay, cool. That's about where I'm at. And then went to the trip where uni sent me to Europe. I managed to tag on a trip to Home Nations because of I wanted to
What is
visit a
Home
friend.
Nations? Sorry, Taos.
Oh, Home Nations is like
Explain for people that don't know.
it's the worst kept secret tournament in 40k. So it's the four nations of Great Britain, the United Kingdom, 4 nations of the United Kingdom, plus the Republic of Ireland, and then I think Belgium's always in, and the Dutch are usually in, and they also invite someone else. And that year they invited Sweden. They didn't actually extend the invite until too late, so not all of the team could travel. And so I happened to just message Chris, who was on Team Scotland, be like, "Hey, can I come visit you? Like, because I'm coming over for uni." And he goes, "Yeah, but I'm at Home Nations this weekend. Hang on, let's see if you can come along." So yeah, like so then I knew going into WTC that like, okay, yeah, the standard of play in New Zealand for our top players is good. So like, we should be, and of course we knew Dave, who was on the team, was like a really good player as well.
Yep.
So I definitely wasn't surprised with how we did. Like I went in with a fair bit of confidence, and this year we've got a much stronger team. I would think it's not meant as a dig at anyone on last year's team, because a lot of the team, but it's not like the only player that I would call weak on last year's team is Charles, who was new to the game and would agree and knew it, right? But he was such a champ. And like
I mean,
him and
without
Dave,
Charles, we wouldn't have been able to, you know.
yeah, right. Like him and Dave, like chaps, and he's just like, all right, what am I doing? Do this, all right, boss. And he'd go, and it was yeah. yeah, and so like this year we've got more people coming as coaches, and like
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
And yes, we might actually get Gabby back as well as a coach.
let's go.
Just confirming with the organisers whether that's okay. But yeah, when this episode goes out, we might actually have Gabby back, who helped us out a lot last year, come back as a coach.
Nice.
Gabby fed us and told us and
Yeah.
kept us alive.
If he housed me for a night as well.
That is
So
that sounds
I
good.
guess what made you want to go back this year?
Like the WTC, you go once, you're addicted, and you want to go every year, sort of thing. In short, like, yep, this is awesome. I want to try to do it again. Like, I'm relative frugal outside of stuff, so it's like, yep, let's make this be the big cool thing that I want to do for the year, and yeah, if we can do better, all that sort of thing.
Yeah. John T, how about you? How come you sign up again?
Well, I still quite like playing the game.
Shock, the horror.
That's one of the answers of all time.
Yeah. I mean, it's those moments where the Doomsday arc with the old devastating does 20 mortal wounds to Armin's unit of 10 flame of rubrics, and then go like it's
When did that happen? Who did you do that to?
That was so like the whole time I was like, let me play T-Sims. I'm good at T-Sims, and then I finally got my T-Sims match in like the last round. It was whoever we played in the last round. Was it Norway?
Oh, no.
That was Norway. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a Norway. Yeah.
Yeah, the only round that like I in singles land lost studies with my knights. A matchup that everyone always told me was knights.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
Dave was really happy because he didn't know how to pair me, and it was just like, the custodies. They'll keep taking it, and Taos will keep bringing back 11 to 16 point wins, easy.
Yeah. No, I still really love the game. Going to WTC last year was one of my highlights. It's such a good, and just even the team aspect of it was so much fun. Hanging out with you and Ryan just getting absolutely.
I'm a little sad Ryan's not coming just because he's such a menace.
Yeah.
Ryan just walking around Europe with jandals.
Oh, did you guys hear about what happened?
The seller Ryan made us.
ANTTC?
No.
We had about ANTTC, and so I think it was on the last night, or maybe it was in between the two. He at some point he bought himself a steak, but it was just like a massive steak. Like it was, like it was about a hammerhead sized steak, and he'd left it seasoning, and then he'd gone off. We don't know where. And said we'll be back or something. And all the rest of the guys were just there, talking shit, mucking around, and so we're tidying up. It must have been the last night, and we're like, what do we do with Ryan's steak? And we're like, oh, let's short sheet his bed and then put the steak on top, laid out nice, and just see how he reacts when he gets home. Because that's right. He went off to try go drinking with you guys, Charlie, and got I was closing or something. So yeah, he was just doing that and came back and didn't comment at all. But yeah, he it was so hilarious.
That is Ryan.
Yeah. The bar closed. I think we just went back to the accommodation, and because I had gotten a bottle of rum from duty free, so we just had a whole bunch of rum.
Ryan is the rum god.
That was cool.
Love it. Love rum.
Nice.
It's a good combination, man. What about you, Jonty? Well, no. You already told us.
with that.
I know.
That's that
I
question.
just wanted to answer. I wanted to hear.
I just started rambling on something else.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to hear him say because I love 40k.
It's the best answer. Then
Yeah, it was
ultimately, I think
pretty
it
good.
is.
Oh, classic Jonty deadpan
Yeah.
humor.
Love it. Um, so what? So for the factions for this year, you went through, I guess. I'm not sure you, Jonty, but I guess the data slate influence a little bit on the decision of what you were going to take. Have you been playing another factions? How was that trip from, from where you are now with Log faction? How was that journey, Jonty? Did you always went on, were on the 100% Necron, or did you went to other factions?
This is just in
Yeah.
terms of prep.
So
Yes.
so like, well, in terms of the prep, as I said, like my two factions are Tau and Necrons, and the when Retaliation came out was super exciting. Like, man, I love running units of suits, and getting the free strat opened up like more stuff you could do with an army that doesn't have great CP generation. They're just throwing away tactical cards. So I was really excited, and I played quite a bit of Tau, both before that data slate and afterwards. And I think the most fun I've ever had is playing Retaliation Cadre. It's just great. And it's got some great strats. It's got good units. And you still take breaches, at least one unit or so, because they're just a great data sheet. And that's just a lot of fun. And like by this time in the show, I'm kind of a little bit getting over Hypercrypt, but I played a lot of games with both. But the thing ultimately that swung was, Farsight got his discount strat. Well, the Overlords got theirs too. And the Hypercrypt Legion, who has no battle tactic stratagem at all, suddenly didn't care about that anymore. And you've got access to three boards, which are the 3-inch drop, which you can use on an infantry unit, because everyone's spending all their time screening a monolith, and it's like, oh yeah, well, here's some models instead. The hyperphasic recall, which is, when they attack you, you die, you teleport back to a monolith, and then corridor, you charge out of the monolith if it's that's on the board. All those stratagems are great for overlords. So it kind of opened up a little bit of a different playstyle for Hypercrypt, just a little bit. I was kind of using some of those things already, but not to the extent that I can now. And that's ultimately what swung it for me, was just the ability to use those stratagems more effectively on a broader range of units was a lot. Yeah, it's
So change it a little bit for you and made your army more interesting.
That's right. We chucked the Silent King in, and it wasn't running him before, but he's a champ, so it's good time.
What about you, Alex? How was your journey with the faction for this, the WTC?
It was good. Just sorry, restarting my camera because
No worries.
I decided I didn't want to exist again. It was. It was a fair bit of work, effectively. Because I sort of had 4 factions as options, and then some others that could be as well. Like, I was open to playing Blood Angels or CSM if either of them we deemed we wanted, but didn't have a player. Someone else would hand me a list and not work out how to play it. I was potentially had Chaos Knights, World Eaters, Custodes and Imperials all to test, all potentially viable and all available. I think I even said that I could hop to Votan as well if we wanted. But yeah, so like those were things that I had to test, and it was a fair bit of ground to cover. I basically left World Eaters and Chaos Knights because they didn't really change. It was like minor points change the thing or units. Like the list that I took to ANZTC, I changed a unit of spawn for the right because you gained enough points that you could do that. So basically the same. And I did a bit of testing with Custodes and late, but I hadn't quite worked out the logic that Charlie applied for his NZTC list of just take a whole bunch of small units now that they hit really hard, which that's in really between NZTC and list lock was like a week, and I didn't end up getting the time to work that out. So just sort of defaulted to World Eaters. So a fair bit of work, but like a whole bunch of fun. Like, yeah.
So basically, you tested the 4 different factions a little bit at least, but ended up on the World Eaters at the end. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, then there are a few reasons for that, right? Like I ended up playing them for NZTC for the reason I mentioned, and they went pretty well there. The bits of testing they've been pretty good. Like
Yeah, no, makes sense.
Um,
How have you found the journey so far with the preparations for the WTC, Alex?
like mine personally or the teams?
In general, yours and the team.
So mine's just been it's been relatively straightforward. Like it's basically just play games, work out some matchups. I haven't got maybe quite as much practice in between list lock and this point in time. But part of that is the fact that I'm flying up to Auckland for a week or just under a week before we fly out. So looking to get a bunch of practice in then,
Yep.
and just completely focus on it. But it's been really awesome seeing the team much more organized and active. It's not like we weren't practicing last year. It was just everyone else had a bit more, like a bit of other stuff going on. We didn't have as much of an idea of like what sort of prep's required or how to prep, that sort of thing. Yeah.
So in that case, the experience.
Like we had a practice weekend where
yeah. So the experience from last year also helped what to do now, because last year you all went first time, nobody have ever done this, and like, yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, and Finn also needs to be given credit because he's put in. Oh, my camera's struggling again. Finn also needs to be given credit because he's like really put in the work and like organized and encouraged and hosted practice weekends and all that sort of thing, right? Like that's excellent. It's what you want from your captain. And so seeing that. Oh, plus also this year, Dave Gaylard organized for us to join a Discord with teams Iceland and Belgium.
Cool.
So that's been awesome, like having 3 nations of people all working together, sharing ideas, debating ideas when there's been different opinions, like certain players being quite confident about how one faction matches up into another that not necessarily everyone else agrees with, all that fun stuff.
Cool. That sounds good. What about you, Jonty?
Have you found difficulties?
I'm getting dizzy.
Sorry, Pato.
Camera, Alex.
I was going to ask, Taos, have you had any difficulties being, based outside of the main
Yes.
Auckland area where the team are? I guess Jonty, yours, even though was only an hour away. Has it been difficult for you guys getting practice in? Being part of the team, getting the reps in and things like that?
For me, it's been difficult to an extent getting quite as much of the same practice. Like I do have a good core group of guys down here. Like our team Plastic People gang for TC, like we practice in person, and WTC terrain. So basically what we've played on exclusively since I made it, and so that really helps with keeping proficient and just like being used to the format and terrain. But also I have no issue playing TTS. Like I can switch really happily and easily between that and tabletop, and I know there's a lot of differing opinions about whether or not it's effective practice or if it's real 40k or yada yada yada. But like I've done a bunch of CAD, like solid work, like 3D modeling, um, since before I started doing engineering at home, and so I'm just really used to like moving around in like computer 3D world. So it's that's helped. Um, it also probably helps that I was sort of the only one working on the factions I was testing too. So it's just like, okay, cool. I'm off doing my own thing, checking things, checking in occasionally. That made it not so bad.
Did you find it was different with? I mean, obviously, Jim was on the team last year, and having another person in the same area to collaborate with. Did it make any big difference, or pretty much the same? And as you said, the team is a lot more focused and prepared this year, right? So
Yeah,
in terms
like
of the direction we want to take.
not really. Like local to me, John's still a good 40k player. He's just not applied to WTC because he's traveling to Japan for karate instead.
He is,
right?
yes.
So like
He offered
you
to
know,
fight Patricio
pretty-
for the win of that round,
Yes,
by the way.
in
That's
the
hilarious.
parking lot.
Have you done martial arts as well? Patricia, have you done martial arts as well?
I did. I was also in the military, so I have some techniques there that I could apply to him. Most of them is go to the balls and just easy. But
I thought you.
I think it ended with Patricia opting to pull out a knife.
no,
Yeah.
it was Jonty offering some gun support, some drone support. But
Right.
yeah. So then John says, "Well, no, I'm not going to win this one."
I'm not offering drone support, Patricia. I'm locked on Necrons. I don't have drones anymore.
Oh yeah, true. Sorry.
Right. But yeah, like John's still here. Like I'm gonna have a game with him on Thursday to try out into Austria's Tyranids list. Right. So like that's not changed. Yeah. I don't know. It's fine. It's good.
Yeah,
What about you, John T?
Yeah, I mean, I just on what Alex said about TTS. That's obviously where I got my start. That's where I think I'm living proof that you can just play TTS and still be a good player. Because when there's going from just playing TTS to then putting on the table, they are the same skills. You've got all these tools in TTS, and I know some people feel like that makes you like lazy, that you can utilize all these for you. But I mean, when I'm using the tools, what they're doing is they're reinforcing the things that I'm looking for and the things that I'm thinking about. So when I take that onto the table, I'm utilizing the same skills. I'm not, instead of measuring out my, putting out 9-inch or a ring so that I can cancel out my bench strikes, I still have the same thought, but now, of course, I just measure it like a normal person.
And like put a bunch of dice down.
Yeah, right. Or I get puts a string and just do 9-inch auras around the models.
Oh, like my my poor custodies opponent round 2 maybe, at NZTC. He's like, all right, I'm gonna deep strike my 5 Laris plus captain, my 6 Venatari, my 3 Venatari, have 1 unit of 3 on the table. And I'm like, cool, okay. So I go first. No, does he go first? Anyway, someone goes first.
In most games, someone does go first.
That's usually how it works. Yeah. I think he goes first. Not much happens. I go like beat up a unit of custodian guard that like whiffed a charge. Another unit like starts slowly winning the fight against Angron by making 4s. You know how it goes. And then my turn 2. I'm like, all right, cool. Everything pushes all the way forward. My 6 Exalted 8-bound run past the unit that was beating up Angron, 2 wound Angron as a coward and runs away from the combat to go like stand on his home objective and yoink it from some sisters. And then it's like, all right, do you want to ingress? And I'd like mapped out the rest of it. He just sees me putting these dice and he's like, I know what's happening here.
Screening.
Yeah.
Good old screening.
And then I charge backwards with the 8-bound as well, so that like the Alaris Terminators couldn't legally declare a charge against the unit they rapid ingress 9 inches away from. They could only charge Angron.
So you ran away, is what you're saying.
No. You
Yeah,
ran
sure.
forward and then charged backwards.
Yeah.
It's called tactical
That
So,
was
retreat.
so like, it wasn't a retreat. Well, Angron's was a tactical retreat, but like, I think he came back as well. So it was fine. It wasn't a tactical retreat. It was just like it was tactical maneuvers.
Oh, yes.
So it's like, right, you guys go over zoning.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, DTS is a great tool. I use it heaps. I'd always like to get more competitive matches than I do in. You know, like if you go into some of the Discords, you look for competitive games, you play a lot of casual, and you know, we're obviously playing it at a higher level than the majority of 40k players. So you know, there's value in just reps there, but you know, you're not getting accurate data from playing, you know, a lot of random people. Sometimes you get really good matches. Usually, you know, they're really casual. So, but you know, I've got a couple of games out of the bins chat, and I've got another one planned for tomorrow. You know, I've
Not today.
whatever Wednesday is. Wednesday's
Tomorrow.
tomorrow. I thought it might have been today, but it wasn't. Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm only an hour and a half drive from Auckland, so it's quite easy to go to events. But you know, just going up for the day for practice means I'm spending 3 hours in the car. It doesn't leave much time to play games. So,
Mate, that's like me going to work on a normal day.
Oh,
really just-
Charlie, reevaluate your life choices.
I work from home.
That
Way too much, but
it took you 3 hours to go downstairs.
no, it takes me
no, when I to the office, especially during peak time. Yeah.
takes me 2 hours to
I-
go to my office, and that is not exaggerating like Charlie. 2 hours, because my office is in bloody Te Awamutu, and I live in Auckland.
I left at night to get to work this morning.
See, you're
I bike to work.
exaggerating.
Let's go back to talking about 40k.
Yes,
No, this is
let's
now
go.
Auckland commute.
Commute.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the questions. Jonty, what are your for this year? Because we talk about the Nexus and how that influence on anything on the team, and we are clear that you went to test. But what do you think of the pod that Team New Zealand is in? Because now we have the pod is correct me if I'm wrong, is Israel, Mexico, and the last one is Poland. Austria. Sorry. Yes.
And I think round 2, round 3 order as well.
So, I mean, as we sort of discussed earlier, I'm reasonably new to the competitive scene. I don't know the international players. I don't know the international teams. So I can't really speak to that very much. But, you know, looking at their lists, going, you know, looking at data, I don't remember which is which, but I remember, you know, one round I've basically got all greens, another one I've got all like yellows and not so good. So, list-wise, I think, you know, we're in a pretty good place. We've got a good list composition, and I think we can do really well in pods.
Do you think it's a good pod for New Zealand to advance?
I mean, as I said, I don't know the countries, and we can look at the lists.
Yeah, based on the
you know,
list data.
Yeah, you know, like based on the data that we've put in, we can do really well in pods. You know, and it'll just be about getting those good maps, and you know, that's what we have. You know, our captains, and then the guys he's doing pairings with are really good at doing the analytical side of things. So they'll do that. They'll say, "Here's your match, Jonty," and I'll go like, "Yep, play the best game for the car can." So
makes sense.
Like we give you a pretty damn good again for 40k.
Well, he does like 40k.
Yeah,
right?
He does quite like 40k.
Like 40k, boys. What about you, Alex? What do you think about the pod?
Yeah, man, it's good. I thought it was pretty cool. We chatted with the Israeli who were walking the same way back from the venue as us. So assuming
Oh,
it's
that was
like
the Israeli team.
Yeah. Assuming it's a bunch, friendly, it should be neat. I would like to think we should be able to pretty decent score onto them. For me personally, it's like a good laugh to pair Mexico in our pod, because Noah, their Chaos Knight player, he's based in the US, is merking for them. I'm pretty good mates with him, and had been talking with him a fair bit about a little bit of, about his WTC list, his War Masters list. No, sorry, he's not doing War Masters, he's drinking. His WTC list and his list for Tacoma this weekend, or the weekend just been as we're recording. And yeah, we're like, oh, take the same faction or whatever. We ended up on the same list, yada yada yada. And he goes, oh, yeah, well, if I do this, I'll put your name on the list. So his Chaos Knight list is called Taos Told Me To, because it's a 1 unit variation of a list I sent to him. That's this is what I'm running for Chaos Knight at the moment. And so I thought they'll get more of a reaction on the team actually when that was just Dan sent a picture and be like, who's this guy or what's going on here, with a screenshot of his list with my name in it in our pod. So that was funny. And then as far as the seed 1 team draw, Austria's a decent one to draw. I think it's possibly them or the Dutch, more viable seed 1 teams. I know Dave said that, and also thought Australia this year, which, but yeah, we've got every chance to try and come out of the pod. But I think a good goal would be at 2 wins and a draw or better.
I think that's quite realistic.
Yeah, so that's baseline what we're aiming for, but we'll push to try and win the. That's awesome spot to be in.
Because was Austria
flying to the other side of the world
10th?
only to play Australia?
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah, and I paired Terracin as well, who had played early in the year at Rising. So I didn't even get to play a new Australian.
Yeah. But I mean, I think you're right. I think what Dave said, there's definitely a breakpoint in the seed 1 bracket where you've got the newer teams that made it into seed 1. And look, seed 1 is a lot bigger this year as well, because we've gone from 36 teams last year to 40 teams this year. So the seed 1 bracket is now 10 teams, whereas it was maybe 7 or 8 teams last year. So poor Belgium just narrowly missing out. But yeah, effectively anyone outside the top, I'd say 7, are probably quite close in that top seed 2, bottom seed 1 bracket. So yeah, I think we have every chance of drawing or doing better.
Yeah, maybe Spain or France would be another of the teams that we could have a go at trying to upset as well. But
isn't France really strong this year?
Yeah, I was thinking maybe, but yeah, I'm not sure. They have actually, they haven't lent Sacco to Belgium, for example. So they're starting.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Interesting.
I just looked up the pods is why I made the comment. It's so the Dutch, Austria, maybe Australia, maybe France, maybe Spain, some are probably still quite tough.
I mean, there's always the Swiss after the pods, right? I think quite interesting if we do win the pod and we come out with 3 wins, we're going to hit some really tough opponents.
Oh yeah, but we're going to come out swinging. We'll be fired up, man.
I hope we end up playing Slovakia because one of my TTS mates, who's probably one of the other people that got me into it, is playing Tau in Slovakia. He's their player this year.
Nice.
I would love to verse Valencia at WTC.
Awesome. What pod are they in?
Haven't looked.
I will work it out. They were in pod 5 with Greece, Romania, and the USA.
Oof.
So
A better Tau player than I am these days because he's played nothing but since and dropped, and I've been very focused. So
Hey, you're a bit on their
Yeah,
cosplay.
yeah.
I don't know if he plays him.
That would be fun.
Charlie, I will leave you this week your
Yes.
your
I mean,
question.
They
for you.
were there with me.
I know.
Both of these boys were there with me, and I think both of them had 2 burgers last night.
Yeah.
Beastie burgers. I don't know if the same one as I, but blue cheese with your burgers. Yay or nay?
I never had it.
Jonty.
Never had it. Don't think I want to. If you're gonna get one and give me a bite of your burger, I'll try it. But otherwise, I'm not risking that. I'm not paying my own money for a burger that I might not like.
Jonty, I heard that is pretty good, similar to the ones that we have here in Half Moon Bay. The best burgers. Love you, man. Don't kill me.
Jonty was not impressed by that burger.
What's the joke here? Is this? Did we get some bad burgers from this place?
It's a mythical place.
We went like NZTC or ChilliCon. What was it? ChilliCon. We went to a restaurant, and I did not care for the burger that we served. It was mediocre.
NZTC was Lone Star because we promised Jonty Lone Star.
Yeah, I got really excited about Lone Star at ChilliCon, and then it was like, actually, Patricia said we're going to go to this restaurant. That's a seafood place.
I did not say that was a secret place. I said there is a good place here that has a lot of things. One of them was burgers, but they had also mussels.
Right, Jonty.
You lied, Patricia. You lied.
I think they liked it.
Jonty, the fact you're excited, but don't know that's an endorsement of your restaurant preferences.
Here we go.
House the Bush and Lone Star's pretty good.
Yeah, no.
I haven't actually. I don't know if I've been in a long ass time. I've gone past it a whole bunch, but yeah.
Wow,
Just don't go on Wednesday night.
That's
Never go on
actually
Wednesday.
bad.
That's
Yeah.
like the meat market hookup night.
Okay.
They're good.
Noted.
They're good.
Yeah.
But
Do I
what
have one?
about? Yes,
The
the
burger
burger,
question,
please.
Charlie.
You have to answer the burger question.
Yeah. Right. So when I first saw you post this question in the messenger chat, you didn't specify it was Beastie Burgers. You just said the blue cheese one. And so my response is going to be before,
Good answer.
because I like, apparently this is not the default opinion necessarily, but if there is mold on my cheese, I'm usually not a fan. To each their own, but that's just how I like, generally my food in general. Yeah. So no, not generally a fan of blue cheese.
Beastie Burgers, you'll give it a go?
Yeah, I'm probably still in the same sort of answer as Jonty, right? Of like, if I was given a bit to try, I would try it, but I'm probably not going to be ordering that.
I'm going to tell you something, if you hit,
Charlie's got his fingers together like
Yes.
he's going to make a trade offer here.
if you listen
Things gonna
the other episodes, I always said the same. I actually don't like the blue cheese to eat cheese. Same reasons that you, Alex. I don't want mold in my cheese, but I tried the cheese, the blue cheese in the burgers, and it's actually very tasty, very very tasty. So I know it's up to you, but probably Charlie will
Yeah, blue
buy
cheese
it.
is always tasty.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of taste.
Yeah, I know.
Just not necessarily good taste.
That is good.
There's a lot of culture in those burgers.
Well,
Yeah.
you can use this talk.
A lot of Hamilton culture.
Yes, you can use this cheese talk when you play against France. I can ensure you that will trigger a lot of the push a lot of the bottoms on them because they love their cheese.
I had cheese while in France before WTC last year. It was excellent. I had like possibly the best lasagna I've had of my life. And my mum makes a mean lasagna. So yeah.
That's good. Um,
Yeah.
for wrap it up, we are going to start with Jonty again. Would you encourage other to give teams the team format a go and aim for the New Zealand team, or try at least to encourage them to apply or to participate?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everyone on the show previously has talked about pardon me, what the team format brings in terms of, the ability to tailor lists, that extra step of, technical decision making. You're doing pairings as well as playing the games. There's so many reasons why teams is just way more fun. I won't repeat everything everyone's already said, but absolutely everyone should give it a go. It's just
Good.
so much better. You're not playing for one player. You're just incentivized to win. I've had matches where I'm like, cool, I'm going to score 100 points. You're not. I don't care about anything else. I'm going to let you do your actions. I'm going to let you do whatever. I don't care. I'm just going to sit here and score 100 points. That's not a fun way to play. It's not. So teams is just better. Teams is better.
That sounds good. What about you, Alex?
So I'm gonna have a slightly split up, right? Like, I will definitely encourage people to apply for both, like, play teams tournaments and like apply for the national team. In fact, I already have. One of the guys from NZ South like sent me a message the other day saying, you can wait till after WTC to reply, but what do I recommend for the process to try to get on the team? And I was like, nope, replying immediately. And I've already seen him posting in like the Discord servers I recommended, looking for games and stuff. So yeah, definitely recommend. And yeah, like teams tournaments are great, but like controversial, unpopular opinion here, I don't necessarily like teams tournaments any more than singles tournaments. Like, I'm going to steal Jonty's line here. I quite like 40k. And I don't really mind if it's in a team setting or a single setting. I just enjoy playing and like on at the event, especially given how much I've been traveling for events as well. It's been a significant deal to like travel and see a bunch of other people. So, like, yeah, I don't think it's the be all and end all, but like so the part of teams that everyone says is the best is like playing with your mates and all that sort of thing, right? But like, if you go to a singles event with Right Attitude, you do that as well, right? The events I do go to down in Christchurch, the group of us always like, we wait for everyone else to finish and then go together to get lunch, all that sort of thing. Just, yeah, be social. It's great. But also, yeah, if you have the chance to apply for a teams event, give it a go.
Cool. That is good. I think it's controversial, your answer, Alex. Nah, that is good. If you like 40k, it technically doesn't matter the format. I think what most of people have been trying to say, that the teams event allows you to sometimes do, like, even a defeat can be a victory because gives you enough points for your team to get the overall and that also make it, I don't know, more interesting. It is more tactical sometimes, but yeah, I agree with you. Any format is good. I also I think all of us enjoy the singles.
I just like getting carried. But
That's true. Otherwise, you fucking forgot to screen your stuff. So yeah.
Oh, fuck, you're never letting that go, are you?
No.
Dude,
One
Charlie, the size of the team at WTC this year, like we will literally carry you if you need.
That.
Just looking forward to having to set up every single table I play on.
Well, that's why we have
Yeah.
coaches. We're
Yeah.
going to set up the tables for you this year.
All the table bitches.
Aw.
That reminds me of one point last year where we were. I can't remember which round it was, but like the table was on our side of the pairings table was set up, and like the Dutch and the Canadians were like the next table set. So I just started setting up things for them. And they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just helping, guys. I can't go over there." Because like it's behind the opposition's pairings thing.
Oh, yeah, I think that was versus Italy, wasn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
But you know,
yeah.
maybe that's knight's privilege.
That's so good. Well, um,
Some lads.
we really appreciate the time that you gave us tonight. We know that like sometimes it's not easy, or you are sick, like Jonty with his Barry White voice today. Very deep. I like it. Alex, it is good to have your voice here too. You are in the South Island, as you mentioned. Sometimes it is difficult to get to some events around. You need to travel way more than everybody else, and you still do a lot of that because you like it, because you like the game.
Yeah.
So I think that's the compromise that um, people is looking for the team. I have seen the because I have personal relationship with a lot of the lads, but how much effort they put, and as I said in the previous episodes and to the other team members, I think you are doing an excellent, great job. Hopefully, you have a blast over there, and you can meet all your expectations as players and as a team, whatever are their wants, because could be different for each one of you. But yeah, it is very nice to see you guys enjoying this. Yeah, and good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, boys. Hopefully catch you this weekend.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh,
Are you gonna pick me up from the airport?
No. Nah. Oh, I mean, when you arrive.
Hopefully,
1:30.
Sorry, when you
No, I'm at Kids Ballet.
Oh,
Sorry.
on Saturday.
Nerd.
Yes, Sunday is the day. What about you, Jonty? Are you going to be up here, or you are going to be in the Toronto this weekend?
I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I'm feeling.
Yeah.
I'm getting worse.
Good.
So,
Don't get the
Do that.
4 people get COVID before ends.
Yeah, you can just play TTS, dude. Like you can practice on there. That's fine.
I think I'll just get
Dude, if you don't taste,
the Nicons and the years. We want to get some practice into the boys and on the pilots. I'll crash the plane.
don't worry, bro. If you don't taste, you cannot get COVID, so don't worry.
That's not how that works. Don't let that be our closing message. Like my bloody well test and then
I seem to remember the event the weekend before ANZDC where half the team got COVID.
oh yeah, and I got COVID when I came back from that bloody event. So yeah,
Yeah. Let's not do that again. That
yeah,
was not
I'm gonna blame you for that one, buddy.
Don't worry, man. I had it once, and or twice, something like that. Twice, yeah. But if you don't taste, you don't have it. That's a good one. Now, taste please, and
Yeah.
don't stay home if you have COVID. Wear your mask, whatever.
Yes.
Do whatever you need. Thank you, lads. Really appreciate your time, and yeah, we will see you around.
Yep.
Hello.
Safe.
Cool. See ya. Bye. Well, Charlie. Good episode. Lot of I think the lads were very generous with us. Share a lot of their personal experience and a lot of the um, you know the expectation and all of that. So I'm quite happy.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really good to have members of the team that have gone before as well. Just bring, there's a lot of little nuances over there, from the captain meetings in the morning, what to expect, what like a yellow card, red card offence. Taos mentioned that round where we couldn't go set up the tables
Yep.
because once the rings team sits down at the tables, if you cross the middle point, that's an automatic red card. You're just not allowed on the other team side of the space, and that was the side that we needed to set up our table. So
Yeah.
that was a funny little interaction there.
Great.
Yeah, so just little nuances like that where you don't know until you've been, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And like for me, round one, I almost clocked out, and apparently that's a yellow card if you clock out.
Oh, damn it.
So yeah,
Wow.
so that was quite interesting. Yeah, so me and Jonty got pretty close. Round is quite a bit of time, but actually no, time flies.
Yes, especially when you're paying 40K. But yeah, you're right that the team. Well, you are going back. Jonty and Alex are going back, so you have that fair hands experience. Will be very helpful for the whole team, the captain.
Yeah.
Experience that Nari did not had, or that those things that couldn't be very beneficial. And yeah, you learned it what's the name, on the hard way.
Yeah. I mean,
Try and error.
we went there to experience it, to see what the things are, and just hopefully, the experience we brought back has been useful, and we'll go out there and smash it this year.
Correct. Yeah, no, that's good.
Cool.
Well, we, as always, we talk. We will be doing a couple of more interviews. We have, as Charlie mentioned before, we'll have here the man, the legend, David Gaylord, with us. Our captain Fiend. Apparently, we are very close to have a date with him. And we are going to be doing also a little bit of review of the pods, and
Yes.
some of the list.
We're waiting for, so list should go live in the next
It's
12
today.
to 24 hours, I think. It should be
Yeah.
today. I mean, it's European time, so maybe
Yeah.
tomorrow for us.
I'm just going to butt in. List went live like a few minutes ago at time of recording.
Thank
Lists
you,
are live.
Alex.
I got a ping in the WTC Discord.
Apparently, lists are now live, so we will be doing a pod and list review for the Team New Zealand pod episode.
Yeah, we will have another invite.
That's going to be interesting
for that day, and it's going to be Ryan, who plays last year. Yeah, so we will have some stuff for you guys. We have an event coming in August. Will be on the 25th of August. It's a single event, WTC terrain, with Paranexus, of course. So we still have a couple of spots available for the tournament. What else interesting do we have, Charlie? We got something cool that we are going to be putting out. You love this. You love the dices, man. So we have Tactical Chilli.
We'll post some better pictures
will
on the
put.
page. But yeah, we do have dice
Tactical
now.
Chilli dice with the little chili in the number 6. So some merchandises will come out very soon. For that, we will post it in our Facebook page, but will be sold through our sister company, Corellian Factory. So you will be able to buy those things online. So yeah, to support us, to keep doing what we're doing. It's not that we live from this, but it is to keep going and building more good events. So I think that's it, Charlie.
Amazing.
I have speak too
That's
much
it for today.
Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Back to painting for me.
I will go sleep because I need to travel tomorrow to the office.
But we will be doing another Charlie's personal journey to WTC, right? On deciding to
Yes.
paint up 2,000 points of Blood Angels.
Yes.
We'll have to sort that one out at some point.
You actually decided to assemble some of them, needed approval by the organization, and then
Yes.
painting. So
I think it'll be nice to take people through the model approval process for some of these bigger events as well, and the standards and expectations.
yes, we learned a lot about that, eh? There is some standards that
Yes.
you think, oh, I just have this little thing, this little antenna on my vehicle. Yep, it's not optional; it needs to be there. So yeah, it will be interesting. We will talk about that because I think that is an interesting thing to teach to the people or show to everybody at home.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good.
Cool beat. So what we say, man? See you tomorrow.
Stay spicy.
Yeah, see you tomorrow, man, and stay
Stay spicy.
See ya.